Two. Alrighty, so we're ready to go. Um, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Observe, Wonder, Think, a green chemistry webinar series. We are thrilled that you are joining us this evening. So here's our agenda for this evening. So we're going to go over our introductions and acknowledgments information. Then we're going to enter directly to our collaboration and discussion section in how to implement green chemistry labs. That's the part that is not going to be recorded for us. And then we're going to look at a summary of our discussion and then talk about upcoming events and opportunities. So before we begin, I'd like to share with you this acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this unceded land on which Beyond Benign operates. For years, it has been the traditional land of the Pawtucket and Massachusetts nations. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide, colonialism, and forced removal from this territory. We also acknowledge that further education is needed on our part to learn the full history of the land we occupy and all the indigenous peoples it belongs to. So Beyond Benai has resources from which this acknowledgement has been created. So it's all on the website if you're interested in studying more about this. All right, let's go straight to our introductions. My name is Esther Hines, and I am your coordinator for this evening. Moderator, shall we say, not so much coordinator here because we are a specialist on this. And I will moderate our conversation about how to implement green chemistry labs. We should also be able to learn a little bit. I would also like to learn a little bit about each other. I will start by talking about what I've done and then give you some conversation guidelines on this on our meeting today. Okay, so if you want to participate and I'd like to call, you'd like to be called, please put your name on the screen, the name you like to be called, so I can talk to you or we can talk to each other that way. Okay. And then we're also going to be monitoring the chat. So in case you feel, like a question needs to be posted and we don't get a chance to look at it, or we can get a chance to look at it a little bit later as we go into the discussion. So we are only going to be recording the presentation part of this. The discussion will not. And then the last part of the evening in which information will be disseminated on the programs and upcoming events that Beyond Benign has for you. All right. I'd like to remind everyone that by registering to the webinar series, you are agreed to our code of conduct. So we need to be respectful of each other, respect each other's opinions, and feel everyone included. And a final note, in order to receive a certificate of attendance tonight, you must fill out a Google form that you're going to see a link for at the end in the chat. All right. So what is the new format for this meeting that we're doing tonight? This is one of a series. And so it basically is form of two things. We're going to have a short presentation on a topic that has been decided from prior discussions, like we're going to have tonight. And then we're going to ask the participants in this, attending in this discussion, to share their experiences on such a topic through, conversation. It's very informal, so it's not like you need to know anything. If you have a question, feel free to ask. So one thing that may help you to consider when you're participating is think about the challenges you faced, respect to the topic, identify if you need support on the things you've been doing, share what has worked for you, what you have learned in the process, and perhaps what you're struggling with. So our conversation for today, okay, is about how to implement green chemistry labs. This was one of the questions that came out from our last meeting. So we're going to focus a little bit onto this and see what, new ideas we come up with at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna start and you guys can follow through. And the easiest way I find is if we can introduce each other and talk about a little bit our journey to green chemistry education. For example, in my case, I went to and got a bachelor's degree and master's degree in chemistry with the intent of participating in R&D in an industry, just like my father did. But it turns out life threw me a ball here and ended up in education. Um, it started with college and then I went on to teach high school. I spent about 6 years in the college education prior and then 18 as a high school teacher. It was not until I entered high school that I discovered green chemistry. So these are the places I've been to. All happy times, I would say, extremely enjoyable, if someone can say that about it. But I'm more interested in what you have to say about your own journey to green chemistry discovery. So I'm going to start with Stephanie since I just met you today.
Hi, let's see. I have been involved in green chemistry for a pretty long time. Annette is my superhero there. She's the one who got me involved in this. So in the local Albany area, we went to a local college, to Siena College, and we went to a couple of different workshops. So I ended up working for Beyond Benign through Annette as a lead teacher, and I use it all the time in my classroom. So green chemistry education is was a huge part of my everyday in my chemistry and physics labs.
That's amazing. How about you, Annette?
My audio is a little shaky, so I'm on the phone. So I'm in Albany, New York, and I'm a retired K-12 teacher. And I also do green chem.
All right. Um, so this is about anybody else have something to share with us? I cannot see your picture, so it's hard for me to um okay, wait, I have a list here. Let's see, Ali. Are you there, Ali?
Yeah. I am a former high school educator as well.
Oh,
Um, and I found myself kind of turning, I guess, kind of naturally to green chemistry when I was teaching because it was safer and it was easier and it was cheaper. And there were so many benefits for my students. And now I am a PhD student at Berkeley studying chemistry education. And so I'm hoping to look a little bit more into green chemistry and how we can support our pre-service teachers in some of these skills. Yeah, I'm interested to learn from all of you guys today.
oh, wonderful. Welcome. Let's see, anybody else would like to jump in? Stephanie. Stephanie, are you there?
I already went.
Okay. Um, Nimra.
Hi everyone. Give me 1 second and I can just turn my camera on as well. Hi,
Hi.
my name is Nim. I'm with Beyond Benign. I'm a program manager. And I would say that my green chemistry journey started in grad school. I had the opportunity to do a green chemistry educational module with one of the professors in the department. And so we implemented some teaching actually into a lab and reworked one of the lab experiments to be greener. And so that was kind of my first exposure to it. So I'm really excited to hear from everyone today about all of their specific green chemistry journey things. And for me, now at Beyond Benign, I work on a platform called the Green Chemistry Teaching and Learning Community, which is really meant to be an online space where everyone who's interested in green chemistry education can come together, interact with one another. We have a large resource library, so you can find green chemistry labs on there. And there's also interactive spaces for peer-to-peer support and mentorship and learning. So that's it for me. I'm really looking forward to hearing from everyone else, but it's really great to meet all of you. And I'm excited for the discussion today.
Thank you, Nim. This is really exciting. Elizabeth, can we hear from you, Elizabeth?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi,
Good.
sorry. I'm joining from the car on the way home from swim class, so I apologize if my kids are in the background.
Don't say. Oh.
So my name is Elizabeth Brown. I am the Director of Educational Content and Learning with the Laboratory Safety Institute. And my background is in chemistry. I have my PhD in chemistry and actually taught in public education. I was there for 8 years before joining LSI. And part of like my passion is, doing safer science and safer chemistry. And when I was in the public school, I worked to develop their safety program. And through all of that, have really seen how cleaning up the labs and getting those hazards out leads into the opportunities for green chemistry, because we're transitioning away from all of those hazards and unnecessary risks. So I have started working with Beyond Benign in my role with LSI, and have learned a lot about green chemistry. I never was able to implement it in my classroom, but I still have the opportunity to work with teachers and train teachers. And so I'm really looking forward to learning so that I can help support their efforts in making their classrooms more green.
This is so amazing. Oh, I wish I met you years ago when I started this. Um, but thank you. This is excellent. I'm sure we'll have you around next time, huh? Um, so
Yes,
from trans
ma'am.
yeah. Um, so here's a picture that's very similar to the stuff I found, for example, when I started in high school. This is not a college lab. It was kind of similar, except that they were already cleaning it up when I came in. The teacher that was there before, a year earlier than me, was a second career, we call a second career chemist, in the sense that he was a chemist first, and then he became an educator. And what happened was he worked in waste management in his prior life, as he used to call it, and he was already doing some serious cleanup in the lab. There was never anyone who kind of cared for it enough or knew how to do it mostly. I'm sure they care about safety, but um, he had the vision to start doing this. So this is what it more or less what it looked like. And I usually my way to start this, once I got to a taste for green chemistry, was to make it relevant to safety. Was one of the options that I had to think about to make the transformation. So it would be nice, we'll say the students, if you can go in the lab without having to wear safety goggles or a lab coat, or gloves or anything like that. It's just kind of room temperature, like little plants do. You turn your face into the yard, but we have garden grass and plants. They are not wearing safety goggles or gloves to do their fabulous chemistry. So for the meeting today was more to see how do you went about doing these changes, like how do you think of what changes to do to change a traditional lab into a green chemistry lab. So I found it hard. First of all, the inspiration came from Beyond Benign when they came to my high school for the first time and did two labs. One was the change of PLA into soap, the lactic acid lab. And my students were so engaged. I never seen them like that. They came in December. We already went to a couple of labs with them, the traditional, the only thing I knew at the time had to do. And then they follow up by the solar cell blackberry lab. So they were all excited. I'm going, how can you get these kids excited in like 20 minutes? I mean, it took me a whole hour to getting involved in the things I want to do. I have to scare the heck out of them. You got to do this, that, and the other in order to do chemistry here. Um, in order to make it safe, I felt like it was the need to do that. So here's a small example that I attempted to do that I could have maybe later on used for other topics, and that was chemical changes, one of the first labs you hit when you teach the class in high school. So the evidence of a chemical change not get it confused with physical changes. So that's a toughy one. But for example, this one, the generation of gas, where it wasn't any before the reaction started, is a big one in which students sometimes confuse evaporating with chemical change. So I used to do this lab with permanganate, and then I realized permanganate is not an easy thing to get rid of once you use it. So we got, starting to build up our little drum full of it. And we have, 350 kids going through the labs 1 year. And I had to look at it. And I said, yeah, this is not going to work. So after the visit from Beyond Benign, I changed it to yeast. That was easy. I mean, there's biodegradable material, and I still get the same results on learning. So this is one example that I use among others. And I was saying I could use it to other things. I only use it for this particular lab, and yet I could use it for kinetics. I could use it for thermochemistry. And I don't know what else can we do a lab like this. Um, so I'm more curious to see what has been your experience, and I'm sure everyone in the room here thinks the same way. So we're going to start sharing our own opinions and um, we'll say road to success challenges, and whether you have already new ideas in your head on how to tackle a future lab or teach another lab or change an experiment you already done the traditional way that maybe can be now switched to a green chemistry. So we're going to stop recording at this point, and so we have our discussion. But thank you so much to all our attendees. Your contributions are extremely valuable, and I'm sure, or I hope anyway, you have taken something out of this discussion of tonight. We talked about sustainability. We talked about collaboration. We talked about how to get involved. Let's see. Okay, how to get the students involved in the selection of what are safe chemicals for them to use. So they are part of the learning. They own that learning. And then important topic that we talked about was to increase the guidance and mentoring of teachers that deliver these lessons in the high school. So it's important to approach, for example, Beyond Benign, which is a very strong advocate of this, and have teachers, leaders that can help you out as an educator in the classroom. So there's enormous amount of resources, as we're going to see on the next slides, such as first of all, for our attendees today, you can get professional development credits by filling out the Google form in the chat. So you'll see one there. Of course, all of you are welcome to fill this form if that's what you need. And, spread the word. If you attend, you can get those credits that may be valuable for your state. Then we have upcoming events. The next one is on December 19 from 7 to 8 p.m. And we're going to have Elizabeth Brown, and the topic of discussion will be lab safety. So we're going to see interesting things coming up on that meeting. There is the code for you guys to upload it, so you have the information available. Then we have important opportunity to get some funding, for all the hard work you already do. Let me put that. You have K-12 Education Awards. What green chemistry education endeavors do, you need support with. You have chemicals, maybe you need special glassware, maybe you need to get some models, or just getting trained. When I go to a conference, this funding could help you, achieve all of these. So the submission is still open up to December 1st. And then the winners will be announced on January 15. So hurry up, let's get it done. It's very easy to do. There's a Google form that you fill out with the pertinent information. So it's not like you had to start from scratch. It's great.
Also, the deadline is rolling, so if the funds are not distributed by December 1st, it will extend. So no worries if you don't have it quite ready yet.
Okay, thank you. All right. Then we have the Green Chemistry Connections. These are webinars monthly held, and these are amazing. I mean, they have lots of great information. If you literally, this Green Chemistry Connections is not just connecting with educators at all levels, and you got higher education faculty, industry professionals, advocates of green chemistry, and it's a variety of professionals that come to support you and enrich your knowledge on green chemistry as you go. Then we have the green chemistry teaching and learning community, and it's free. You don't have to pay a fee to join. And here's the code for you to upload onto your phone so you have ready at the palm of your hands. So you have open access resources for forums of discussions. You got requests for mentors. You can have ideas from industry. Maybe they could transform itself into an internship for your students that are interested or ideas for a science fair project in which green chemistry is the star of the topic. You have all kinds of resources there. And if it becomes overwhelming, there's always we are a click away. You say, I need some guidance. This is the topic I want. What resources do you think I should be tapping first? And then we go from there. So it's not so overwhelming. And of course, sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date. It's so true. There's all these things that I just went through were in the November letter, for example, that went out, and they're at the our works website, Beyond Benign. Here's the code for you to upload it, so you have it right ready on the palm of your hand. So they have lots of information. It will take too long to distribute right this second, but that's what it is. Okay, it's a green chemistry teaching and learning community for real. Of course, we had to say thank you to all our sponsors and different companies that believe in what green chemistry is about, and they're great supporters of Beyond Benign. They do have, um, interest on distributing this, and they use, the resources in the sense that students that are prepared to do green chemistry probably will find their first job in any of these companies today. And
We
of course, you
recommend
can,
that you save
yeah.
the chat.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt. So
that's okay.
just recommending that you save the chat
Oh.
so you have all those resources that everybody posted for you.
Okay, so you can go to the chat as you hear, and then you can also contact us by social media. We have all of these available to you. In the chat, you have the rest of the links and information that you can copy and upload into your computer, so you have us ready to go. Again, we're not strangers here. If you have a burning question, please don't hesitate. Just email it to us, and then we'll be ready to answer them. All right. These are reference slides. You will have these available to you as you look at the recording of our presentation today. So you had the 12 principles of green chemistry, some of the ones we talked about, waste prevention, designing safer chemicals, designing better labs, like one of our participants mentioned with her students. It was fantastic. It's a great experience. So there's lots of information that come to you. And of course, this is what Beyond Benign is all about. Beyond Benign envisions a world where the chemical building blocks of products used every day are healthy and safe for humans and the environment. And the mission of the organization is to foster a green chemistry community that empowers educators to transform chemistry education for a sustainable future. So I hope to see you again in January, and we'll have more to offer to you, and prepare for the following one in February. Very exciting things are coming up, so don't forget, meet us up, and we'll see you again in January. Thank you for coming to our audience, and love to see you again in a month.